What's going on, altcoin army? This is Jeff the Altcoin Buzz. So here we go. We got Ethereum now breaking record highs. As you can see, Ethereum is looking like it's the next in line, or what, to do the big thing. It already hit 892. Currently sitting at 879. And what exactly is driving this price, right? I mean, if we take a look here, you can still see that Ripple's holding on just by $3 billion, but looks like Ethereum's getting ready to get hungry enough to reclaim that number two spot. But who knows? We'll see. So what's driving this Ethereum price to this, up 14%? So today when we started, it was sitting at 747, 723. And we've seen Ethereum kind of struggling the last week or so. If we just go to the 7-day, you can see Ethereum's had a little bit of a tough go at it. We've seen it as low as 699. And if you take a look here at markets, you can see Coinbean, LEEK to ETH. So that's an ICO, that leak. You can see Ether and BTC is another pairing. And the Korean won's obviously involved in driving this. So what's the news, though? Is there any news, right? Well, if we go on here and we take a look at Vitalik's profile, so you have Vitalik here. He's the founder and creator of Ethereum. He's he's the young guy. He's 23 years old. He's done a lot for being a 23-year-old. But if you take a look at this Casper net, Alpha Casper testnet. So let's take a look and see what's going on here with this thread. By the way, if you click on this link, it's not going to work, so you have to come down here and take a look at this. And right here is the Alpha Casper FFG testnet instructions. Welcome to the first release of the Alpha Casper FFG testnet built on Ethereum. This network represents the results of years of work of crypto economic proof of stake and months of active development of the client, and is fully featured and usable network, allowing users to send transactions, mine, and become validators. However, this is still several steps away from a network that will be ready to launch. Some parameters are set differently from the intended final settings, and the currently only available client, Ethereum, has a much lower processing capacity than clients implemented in faster languages. So you can see here, it's got proof of stake, Casper FFG paper if you wanted to read up more on it, presentation by Carl Florich and John Choi's Casper 101. The rest of this document assumes some familiarity with Casper FFG. Me personally, I'm not too familiar with this Casper, but I can see that it's obviously adding value. I know that I found some information about dApps, decentralized applications. So dApp browsers will radically accelerate mainstream Ethereum adoption. Currently, if we just go to the market, I pointed this out earlier in a previous video. If you just look at tokens, most of the tokens that are on the market are Ethereum platform based. And the best way I can explain that is you have iOS, you have Android. If you have an app on iOS but you don't have it on Android, it's kind of like that, in the sense that these are application developer platforms. Ethereum's an application developer platform, and so is NXT and Omni and Neo and Lisk and Rise, and the list goes on, really. I think Qtum is also on this list somewhere. So most of these are built on Ethereum's blockchain platform, right? So it's been said that Ethereum is the outdated, Cardano is supposed to be the Ethereum killer, but with Bitcoin struggled to keep up with, it's getting past, the technology is getting passed up because it's built on an older blockchain script, and the coding is just not allowing for efficiency, high mining costs, etc. Ethereum has been able to overcome some of these obstacles, and this Alpha Casper FFG testnet appears to be an upgrade to the Ethereum blockchain in some way that's going to allow proof of stake, integrate proof of stake. And I have to really look into this, but the reason I'm putting out this video is to help guide you guys as to what is driving the Ethereum price, not because I'm a technical expert or claiming to be a technical expert about what Casper brings. Over time, I will understand it, but it's because there's so much technical. It's so technical to understand this just by a simple 2-hour long search. There's far more to it than just that, and I'm not claiming that I'll ever know the full blockchain or the full programming or development that went into it. I'm by no means a Vitalik Buterin type, or even this Carl Florich. So, yeah, if you're not already on Twitter, you should also join, because you can follow Vitalik, the founder and the creator of Ethereum. Now, he talks kind of technical a lot, and he's not going to be your most interesting person to follow. But if you ever wanted to stay up to date, Vitalik with Ethereum, Vitalik's your guy. And I'm still holding my Ethereum from long ago. I didn't get in at $15 like some of you might have. But another guy who's really big on Ethereum, Mike Novogratz. So, sending strength to Iranian students who want a better life. So he's talking about the issue that's going on in Iran. But he will also talk about the Ethereum project, being that he was one of the founding investors, okay? To be clear, we delayed launching a hedge fund. So he's a hedge fund manager, but he's also heavily invested in Ethereum, that's for sure. Here, he makes a comment. Is Satoshi Light selling all his LTC bullish or bearish? He's saying, is it? Because remember, Charlie Lee, from the founder and creator of Litecoin, he sold all his Litecoin. And he's asking, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Are you bullish or bearish on Litecoin in long term? And he says, if Vitalik Buterin or Ethereum Joseph sold all of their Ether, I'd be worried. So he's hinting that that's kind of a bearish signal for Litecoin, and he's kind of throwing it out there that, well, if one of the founders of Ethereum did that, wouldn't you be worried? So he's, like I said, he's a hedge fund. He's a Wall Street guy, but he does talk about, or he is big time in some of these cryptocurrencies and ERC20 tokens, and he's heavily invested in Ethereum since the beginning. You can also follow us on Twitter. Let's see what's going on here with us. Today we're talking about Send, the Send social Send token. And if we just take a look here at that, this thing's been improving. Let's see how it did since we tweeted. So it was at 40 cents. Now it's up to 46 cents. Market cap still has a lot of room to grow, and I'm putting that out there just because it's got a low circulating supply. You don't need a lot of these, because with the circulating supply like that, this could be a dollar token easy, but it could clearly go higher than that. I mean, in order to get to $1, all it would really have to be is a $32 million market cap, which is not a lot. So back to Ethereum now. So you have Ethereum price, what the Casper update means for Ethereum. Ethereum is on charge right now after the first test net of a major update was released. Here's what it means. Ethereum, while many believers in the future of the internet, in its current form still has problems handling capacity. This is the problem I was talking about, where Ethereum's an older blockchain. Something new like Cardano or Lisk could come along and prove to be a more efficient blockchain for, as they're saying here, miners of proof of work, etc. And is becoming more expensive for transactions. So that's one of the big things that you guys don't like about Bitcoin, is the fact that the Bitcoin network fee is so high. To transfer from your Coinbase or CoinMama or wherever you buy your Bitcoin to any exchange, it usually costs anywhere between $10 to $40, depending on what the heck the network transaction fee decides to be based on that time. So Casper, once integrated, will turn Ethereum from a proof of work platform to a proof of stake, which will make everything much faster and cheaper as it continues to grow. Currently, the proof of work system Ethereum uses means miners are needed to solve complex algorithms to support consensus and keep the network running. In the proof of stake world, these miners will be replaced by stakers. These stakers will stake their coins in special wallets and be paid dividends from network fees based on how much ether they stake. So miners, basically you have to use computation, CPUs to mine Ethereum. Now they're saying proof of stake, okay? So you can stake the coins instead of mine them. Now, let's take a look at what the potential of Ethereum can really look like long term. Well, actually, if we take a look here at the market cap, Bitcoin dominance is just at an all-time low. Bitcoin dominance has never been this low at 36%, at least not that I've seen. So Bitcoin being in the dweller like this, or in the seller like this, is kind of interesting because altcoins have definitely perked up. Look at this. Look at Cardano, the quote-unquote Ethereum killer. It's just soaring. Now, you have this $85 billion market cap, and I would anticipate in 2018 that this could double, and this could double, or it could triple. If it doubles or triples, I mean, you'd be looking at nearly a $2,000, just depending on how high it goes, obviously. If it doubles, it's just under 2,000. If it triples, it goes over 2,000 per Ethereum. So if you were getting into Ethereum back when it was $200, Old Faithful here, I guess Bitcoin's big mama, then this one will be Old Faithful. Because at the end of the day, most investors really like Ethereum. But look at the Satoshi here. The Satoshis have not held up too good, but fiat-wise, it's doing great. So, yeah. I mean, and we've even talked about how high this thing can go. I mean, if Wall Street decides to not go in on Bitcoin and they get more bullish on Ethereum, it's possible to say that I think the cryptocurrency consensus would be they'd rather see Ethereum pass Bitcoin than Ripple, right? So most people, they don't want to see Ripple overtake Bitcoin. Like, basically, God forbid Ripple should ever be the one. But if Ethereum were to do it, there might be certainly a lot less backlash. If Bitcoin Cash were to do it, oh my gosh, that would just be crazy. But we still don't. I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin due to the fact that there's the futures market now. And like I said, I don't think they create the futures market only for investor confidence to go down in Bitcoin. So this could still be a very solid buying opportunity for you to get into Bitcoin at this price. Although it's been projected that it could pull back far lower than this. Me personally, I've already taken out my Bitcoin. I would buy more Bitcoin if it got to the $10,000 range. But at $13,000, I've already done what I wanted to do with Bitcoin at that price. But if it went down below 10,000, I would buy more Bitcoin. That's just me. As far as Ethereum goes, I'm already in all of my Ethereum positions. I'm not trying to FOMO into Ethereum. I'm not that bullish on it. I'm more bullish on tokens than I am on Ethereum. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ethereum went to $10,000 at some point by 2020. But I still think I could get, 12 times gains a whole lot faster out of some of these tokens that are on the Ethereum blockchain. And I've already mentioned many of them in previous videos, and now it's up to you guys to pick which ones you like. So anyways, guys, this is just a quick analysis on Ethereum. I really think that Ethereum is going to close in on $1,000 here really quickly. I think Ethereum is also due for a bit of a run, like we've seen with Ripple and Cardano. And I also wouldn't count out Bitcoin Cash. We've seen runs with Ripple, Litecoin, Cardano. So we've seen a little bit of a run with IOTA. I think between IOTA, Ethereum, Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's also due. These between Cardano, Litecoin, and Ripple, these guys have already kind of had their run. And now I think it's time for something like Ethereum to really steal the show for a little bit and push over $1,000. And I think that's coming here soon. So that's my anticipation. And I only say this to you guys who've been holding Ethereum and been kind of bored with it. I really do think that we're going to approach $1,000 Ethereum. So good on you all who've been holding for a while. And we'll see you guys next time.